Nuclear, I think, is critical, not again for proliferation, but nuclear reactors. I don't think people really appreciate this. And I know, as I said earlier, we speak about AI and biotech and quantum. I think a vector, a spotlight should be on nuclear because I think it's really serious, and here's why. US went from 104 to 93 reactors. We're down 10%. China went from 2 to 25 to 55, and they're on their way to 150. 5% of their electricity is produced by nuclear. It'll be 20, which approaches ours, but it'll be a much larger population. The Georgia plant that was done in nuclear here in the US recently, $25 billion. That's about $11.5, $12 billion or so per gigawatt. China is producing nuclear for $2 billion a gigawatt. So that's a huge contrast. If you're a foreign country, China could easily come in and say, we will build it for you, we'll finance it for you, and then, by the way, we've got you hooked for the next few decades on dependency on fuel and maintenance, etc.
Japan's semiconductor industry is booming thanks to its robust trade with China. Semiconductors, the brains of everything from smartphones to fighter jets, are in high demand. China, with its massive electronics manufacturing sector, is a goldmine for Japanese chip makers. Japan has long been a leading supplier of high-quality semiconductors to China. Recent years have seen a surge in demand, driven by China's technological ambitions. And guess who's supplying the essential components? Japan. The United States is watching Japan's semiconductor sales to China with a wary eye. Semiconductors power smartphones, laptops, and advanced military equipment. Think fighter jets, missiles, and sophisticated radar systems. The US fears Japan is fueling a potential adversary. Japan is in a diplomatic tight spot. The stakes are incredibly high. Japan's sales could shift the global balance of power. The simmering tensions between the US and China over trade and technology have only added fuel to the fire. The US has imposed restrictions on selling semiconductors to China, citing national security risks. It's now looking to Japan and other allies to follow suit. This has put Japan in a difficult position. Japan is caught in a geopolitical tug-of-war between its biggest security ally and its biggest trading partner. It's a delicate balancing act, and one that Japan is trying to navigate with extreme caution. The semiconductor issue takes on an alarming dimension with China's nuclear power program. China is aggressively expanding its nuclear energy capacity. Nuclear power can be clean energy but carries proliferation risks. Japan's advanced semiconductor technology plays a role in this expansion. The US fears dual-use components could pose a proliferation risk. Japan's semiconductor sales to China present a classic dilemma, balancing economic interests with national security. China is a lucrative market for Japanese semiconductor companies. These companies argue their products are not used for nefarious purposes. The US urges Japan to recognize the risks of fueling China's technological rise. It's a tough call for Japan. What can the US do about Japan's semiconductor sales to China? It's a tricky situation with no easy answers. The US could pressure Japan, threatening sanctions or limiting intelligence sharing. But this could damage the US-Japan alliance. A constructive approach might involve finding alternative markets for Japan's semiconductors. The US could offer financial incentives to shift production away from China. This is Africa Social Intellect, your premier destination for thought-provoking discussions and insightful perspectives on the vibrant and diverse African community and beyond. Our dedication extends beyond conversations. In recognizing the importance of security, we provide essential information to help safeguard vulnerable nations. From navigating local challenges to assisting these vulnerable nations against imperialistic threats, we stand as a beacon of awareness and resilience. If you're on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe, comment, and share our news. If you're watching on Facebook or another platform, follow us and share this reliable news source. We hope you enjoy the news, and thank you for watching, and see you next time.